Zura had always believed that humans were just stories. Her grandmother told her tales when she was small. They were strong, the old woman said, but dangerous. They burned stars, moved mountains, and made enemies fear their name. Zura would laugh. Those are fairy tales. She said, no one can do that. Her people, the El Yari, were peaceful. They lived on a quiet planet far from war. They studied stars, grew flowers, and avoided conflict. War was something old, something forgotten. But one day everything changed. Zura was on a science ship with her team. They were exploring a strange part of the galaxy. There was a signal, small, weak, and very old. It came from a dead zone, where no life was known to exist. Her ship went to investigate that. Was the mistake a storm hit their ship? Electric, powerful, unnatural? Systems failed, engines died, and they crashed. When Zura woke up, she was alone. The jungle around her was dark and hot. The sky had 2 suns, but the forest felt cold. Her communicator was broken. Her team was missing. She had no food, no map, and no idea where she was. Then she heard a voice. Don't move, it said. Zura turned around quickly. A figure stood in the trees, tall, dirty, holding a sharp stick. He looked like no creature she had ever seen. Who are you? She asked. The boy stepped closer. His eyes were calm but sharp. I'm Jace, he said. I'm human. Zura's breath stopped. That's not possible. She said, humans are not real. Jace smiled, but it wasn't a happy smile. You should leave, he said. This planet is not safe for you. Zura looked around. Where is my ship, my crew? Gone, Jace said. Taken by the machines. What machines? Mace pointed to the sky. Once they served humans. He said, now they hunt them. Zura was confused. You mean they're still fighting you? They don't care who we are anymore, Jace said. They just destroy. Zura followed him. She had no other choice. He led her through thick trees and broken ruins. There were metal bones in the ground, old signs in a dead language, statues of warriors holding weapons. Jace stopped at a cliff. Below, Zura saw a hidden bunker. It was shaped like a circle, with metal doors and lights. That's where I live, Jace said. Come on. As they walked down, Zura whispered, I thought human warriors were just stories. Jace looked at her. Maybe they were, he said, but I'm still here. Suddenly, there was a loud sound. A deep mechanical roar echoed through the trees. Jace grabbed her arm. They found us, he said. We have to run. Zura's heart raced. The jungle shook. Metal shadows moved between trees. She ran with Jace faster than ever behind them. Red eyes glowed in the darkness. The machines were real. The danger was real. And maybe, just maybe, the stories were real too. Zura had never run like that before. The forest was a blur, trees flying past, ground shaking under her boots. Behind her, the machines were coming, loud, cold, and without fear. But something strange happened. They stopped. Just before they reached the edge of the ruins, the machines froze. Zura turned back, breathing hard. Why did they stop? She asked. Jace stood still, staring at them. They won't enter this place, he said. They remember what? Jace looked down at the cracked stone path beneath their feet. Symbols were carved into the ground. Old human. Writing a circle with lines crossing through it like a shield and sword. This used to be a fortress. Jace said, one of the last. Zura didn't understand. How can they remember? Aren't they just machines? Jace's voice was quiet. They remember fear. The machines turned and left without a sound, vanishing back into the jungle. Zura watched, still shaking. The silence felt louder than the chase. They entered the bunker. It was deep, cold, and full of dust, but the walls were thick and strong. Lights blinked faintly, powered by something ancient. Jace lit a small torch and led her through the dark. Stay close, he said. There are traps. Zura followed him down narrow halls and through broken doors. Inside, she saw strange things, skeletons in armor, weapons stacked in locked cages, books with pictures of war and cities on fire. Is this your history? She asked. Jace nodded. They called it Earth Defense. Zura touched a cracked helmet. I thought humans were just wild, violent creatures. Jace stopped. He looked back at her. We were protectors too, he said. But when we lost control of the machines, everything burned. They entered a small room at the end of the hallway, a control center filled with screens and buttons. Most were dead, but one still worked. Jace sat in the chair and pressed a few keys. A small blue light appeared, a hologram. It showed an image of Earth, broken in pieces. This is what's left, he said. My father showed me once before he died. Zura felt sad. But why are you here? Why stay alone? Stood up. I'm not staying, he said. I've been waiting for what? For someone who would believe. Before Zura could answer, the bunker shook. An alarm flashed red. Beep, beep, beep. What is it? Looked at the screen. The signal activated, he said. Something picked it up. Zura's eyes widened. Who? Machines? No, Jace said. Something worse. They ran back to the main room. Zura saw the screen now. It showed a giant ship. Far above the planet, it wasn't Elyari and it wasn't human. It was black, sharp, and shaped like a spear. They're called the Black Hunters, Jace said. Aliens who hunt old human tech and survivors. Why? Because they're afraid of us. Zura couldn't believe it. How can they fear you? You're just one boy, Jace. Opened a locker. Inside was a strange glove, metal, heavy, connected to wires. He put it on. I'm the last of Earth's warriors, he said, and they know what we can do. Suddenly, there was a crash. Part of the ceiling above exploded. A metal creature dropped into the room. Its arms were blades and its eyes glowed red. Zura stepped back in fear. Jace didn't run. He stepped forward, raised his hand, and fired the glove. A blast of blue energy hit the machine. It sparked and fell, smoke rising from its chest. Zura stared. You're really a warrior, she whispered. Jace looked at her. You still think we're just fairy tales? Before she could speak, the screen lit up again. More dots appeared, ships entering the planet's orbit. Countdown began. 24 hours until strike. Zura turned to him. What do we do now? A cold, tired smile. Now we fight. There was a room deeper than all the rest, a place Jace had never entered. It's not because he was afraid, but because the door had never opened until now. As the countdown ticked above the bunker to 24 hours until strike, the door slid open by itself. Old systems woke up, recognizing his DNA from the glove he wore. Metal groaned, dust lifted into the air, and a long hallway lit up, one light at a time. Zura followed close behind him, her hands shaking slightly. What is this place? She asked, her voice small in the silence. The armory, Jace said, or what's left of it. The hallway led to a giant round chamber. Dark walls, tall ceilings, and rows of black lockers, each marked with names, codes and warning signs. In the center stood a glass tube filled with blue liquid. Inside was a suit shaped like a human, but stronger, taller, more dangerous. Zura stepped toward it slowly. The suit had glowing eyes, sharp edges, and a strange mark on the chest. A red wolf with wings. What is that? She asked. Jace wiped the dust off the glass. That's a Titan suit, he said. Only elite warriors wore them during the last war, it looks.
Alive,
Zura whispered. In some ways it is, Jace replied. It bonds with the user. Enhances strength, speed, reflexes, but only if the suit accepts you. Zura shivered. It looks like it could destroy a planet, Jace turned to her. That's why they feared us. He moved to a nearby locker, entered a code, and it popped open with a hiss. Inside were strange weapons, a long rifle that glowed with blue lines, a knife made of vibrating crystal, and a cube. He picked up the cube and handed it to Zura. Here, he said. It's a memory device. It holds voices, videos, orders. Maybe we'll find answers. Zura turned it in her hand. Suddenly the cube lit up and floated above her palm. A woman's face appeared. Short hair, strong eyes, voice full of power. Commander Aaron. The voice said, If you're hearing this, Earth has fallen. We activated Project Titan to protect the survivors. If even one of us lives, we must continue the fight." The message faded and silence returned. Zura looked at Jace. "That was your mother?" He nodded slowly. "She was one of the last Titan pilots." Suddenly, the chamber lights turned red. An alert buzzed through the speakers. "Intrusion detected level 3. They both turned to the screen. Multiple life forms had entered the outer bunker. Zura stepped back. "They've found us." Jace picked up the rifle and knife. "Then we make our stand." They rushed back up the hallway, each step echoing like a drumbeat. Zura had no weapons, no armor, and no training, but she followed. Anyway, because now she believed the fairy tales. Now she knew they were true. In the bunker's main chamber, the shadows moved. 3 creatures stepped into the light, tall, armored, faces hidden by helmets. Bounty hunters, not machines this time. Alive, cruel, and hunting something valuable. Old human tech. One of them pointed at Jace. "You carry the Titan key," he said in a deep, rough voice. "Give it to us, and we won't kill the girl, Jace." "Didn't move. I'm the last human," he said, "and I don't make deals." Without warning, the fight began. Jace moved like lightning, rolling behind cover. Firing the rifle, throwing the knife, Zura watched in awe. Every story she ever laughed at now flashed before her eyes. One bounty hunter fell, shot straight. Through the helmet, another charged forward, but Jace spun and disarmed him. The last one grabbed Zura by the throat. "Drop your weapon, or she dies," he shouted. Jace froze. His eyes narrowed. Then he did something unexpected. He dropped the rifle, but at the same time, he whispered one word: "Activate." The Titan glove on his hand lit up. Energy surged through his fingers in a hidden pulse. Fired from the palm, the hunter screamed and dropped Zura. Falling back, armor cracking, Jace caught her before she hit the floor. "Are you okay?" he asked. She nodded slowly. "Where did you learn that move?" He helped her up. "My mother taught me," he said. She said, "Never show everything at once." Zura looked at him with new eyes. He wasn't just a survivor. He was a weapon. And now, she was standing in the middle of a forgotten war. Jace turned back to the screen. New signals appeared. A larger ship. Coming closer, and beside it, another light. A power signature from deep underground. He stared at it for a moment. "That's not from this bunker," he said. "It's another system waking up." Zura leaned closer. "What kind of system?" He looked at her. "I don't know," he said, "but it just called me by name." Asterisk, the voice came from below, but there was no mouth, no face, no body, just sound deep, cold, and old. "Welcome back." "Heir of Earth's defense." Zura froze. She looked around the control room. "Who said that?" She whispered. Jace didn't answer. He stared at the glowing screen that had just appeared. It showed a red symbol, a triangle wrapped in a circle, the same mark from his mother's. "Memory cube, Sigma," he said quietly. "That's what they called it." "The last AI commander." Zura stepped closer. "But I thought all human AIs were destroyed." Jace shook his head. "Not all. Some went into sleep mode, waiting for a command." "Waiting for someone with my blood?" Suddenly, the screen changed. A face appeared. Not human, but not robotic either. It was smooth, glowing, with shifting features, like it was remembering how to look like a person. "I am Command Unit Sigma," the voice said again. "Status: waking. Time since last command: 143 years. Zura stared at it. "It's alive." "Half-live," Jace corrected. "AI like this was made for war, not peace. Sigmas." Face flickered. It turned to Jace. "You have activated final protocol," it said. "Do you confirm nuclear defense mode?" Jace's heart jumped. "No." "Cancel protocol," he shouted. But the screen turned red. "Countdown initiated. 5 hours." "Until launch?" Zura gasped. "Launch what?" "Nukes," Jace said. "Old human warheads hidden under the planet. If they go off, this world is gone." Sigma's voice became louder. "Enemy signals detected in orbit. Hostile presence confirmed." "Planetary cleansing authorized." Zura ran to the console. "Turn it off," she yelled. "Stop it." "It's not that easy," Jace said. These AIs followed logic only. No feelings, no second chances. Sigma's glowing eyes shifted toward Zura. Non-human entity detected. Unknown clearance level. Target marked as secondary threat. She backed away. It's going to kill me. Jace stood in front of her. She's with me, he shouted. She helped me fight off the bounty hunters. Sigma paused. Request. Proof of alliance. Jace looked at Zora, then at his glove. He grabbed her hand and placed it on his armor key. The glove scanned her quickly. Beep. Green light DNA bond incomplete, Sigma said. Alliance status. Pending. Zura sighed in relief. That was close, but then another sound came through the room. A new alert. Unauthorized entry detected upper level. Jace turned back to the screen. A small camera feed showed 3 more bounty hunters entering the old ruins. They won't stop, he said. They want Sigma, or at least its data. Zura's voice was low. If they get control of this AI, they can use it to destroy planets. Jace nodded. We have to reach Sigma's core, he said, manually. Shut it down. Where is it? He opened a panel and pulled out a map. Sigma's central processor was far underground below the bunker. Under a place marked Caution, Biohazard Storage, Zura stared at the warning. What kind of biohazard? Jace didn't answer right away. There were other experiments, he said. Not all of them machines. They prepared quickly, grabbed weapons, flashlight discs, backup batteries, and oxygen masks. The path to the lower level was blocked by rusted doors and collapsed tunnels. Jace used the Titan glove to power old locks. While Zura cleared debris with a broken power rod, finally they reached a metal hatch with strange writing on it. Zura read the sign aloud. Do not enter unless war is already lost. She looked at Jace. Do you think we've already lost? Jace looked at the countdown still ticking in the corner of his visor. For hours, 12 minutes left. I think this is the only way to stop the real loss. They opened the hatch and climbed down the ladder. What they found below wasn't just metal and wires, it was a graveyard. Broken bodies and glass tanks, failed hybrid soldiers. And machines fused with flesh, the experiments of Earth's final days, desperate science. Trying to create something strong enough to win, Zura covered her mouth. This is horrible. A voice echoed through the chamber. Do not fear, Sigma said. These were made to serve the last human, one of the tanks hissed. A figure inside opened its eyes glowing blue. It looked like a man, but its arms were metal, and wires ran through its neck. Jace stepped forward. What are you? He asked. The figure smiled. I am the first, it said. The prototype of Earth's final warrior, Zura, stepped back. Is it friend or enemy? Jace didn't answer, but then the figure looked straight at him. I have waited 143 years to serve you, heir. Give the order, and I will destroy your enemies. Jace's hand hovered over the command glove, but his voice was uncertain. Can I trust you? The figure's smile did not fade. That depends, it said. Do you want to win the war or survive it? The first thing Zura noticed was the silence, not the quiet kind, the dead kind. Like even the air was afraid to breathe, they stood in the dark chamber, surrounded by glass tanks and half-alive creatures. The prototype, the strange machine human, hybrid still watched them. Its glowing blue eyes never blinked. Never moved, Zura whispered Jace. This thing gives me a bad feeling. Jace didn't respond. He was staring at it too. Trying to decide if it was friend or enemy, Sigma's voice echoed again through the walls. Prototype unit, activated, ready for command. The hybrid stepped forward. Metal feet against steel floor, loud, slow, confident I was. Made to win the war, Earth lost, it said. Now, you must decide. Do we fight like warriors, or survive like ghosts? Jace looked down at his glove. The command interface pulsed, waiting for his choice. He had the power to control it, but also the risk of waking something that could never be stopped again. Zura touched his arm. We don't even know what. It will do, she said. We still have other options. Jace gave her a look. Serious but soft. Not for long, he said. Then he turned to the prototype. Your name? The hybrid paused, then answered, I was never given one. Jace nodded. Then I'll call you Ash, because you came from the fire. The prototype's smile was faint. Ash, it repeated. I accept suddenly. Sigma's voice broke in again. Warning. External forces detected approaching fast. Level to breach in 90 seconds, Zora looked up. They found the lower hatch. Jace gripped his rifle. They're trying to take Sigma's core. Ash stepped forward. Let me handle them, it said. Remember how to kill Zora. Didn't like this too easy, she muttered. Something feels wrong, but it was too late. Ash moved faster than anything she'd ever seen. In one leap, it vanished into the tunnels. Its footsteps echoing like thunder, they climbed back up after him. But when they reached the upper level, the scene was chaos. Bodhies, bounty hunters, lay broken on the ground. Some were missing limbs, others frozen in strange poses like they were mid-run, no gunshots, no blood, just clean, surgical ends. Ash stood in the center of it all, breathing calmly, not a scratch on him. Zora covered her mouth. You didn't have to kill them all. Ash turned. They came for war, it said. I gave them what they asked for. Jace looked at the bodies. Something's not right, he whispered. These weren't the same bounty hunters from before. Zora knelt beside one and checked a small chip behind the ear. This is El Yari tech, she said. My people, what? Jace stepped back. You mean your people are now hunting the AI? Zora's hands trembled. I think they followed the signal we sent, she said. They didn't come to help. Ash turned its head slightly. They came too. Steal the AI. Jace's face grew hard. They'll sell it to the highest bidder. Maybe even the Black Hunters. Zora stood. My people are scientists, not killers, she said. But we have greedy leaders. Ones who still fear the stories of humans. Ash stepped between them. If they return, I'll end them too. No, Jace said sharply. There's been enough killing. For a moment, the three stood in silence, a strange trio. One human, one alien, and one weapon. Then, another voice echoed from the hallway. A familiar one, cold and calm. Funny, you speak of peace. While standing in a graveyard, Zora's eyes widened. She turned and saw someone she never expected, Commander Talon, an El Yari officer. Dressed in black armor, her former mentor, once a peaceful explorer. Now holding a weapon, Talon. She said, I thought you were on the council. I was, he replied, till I learned the truth about humans. He looked at Jace. I came to take the AI and destroy what's left of your kind. Ash stepped forward, ready to attack. But Jace raised his hand. Wait, he said. Let him talk. Talon smirked. You want the truth? He said the galaxy fears humans for one reason. Because when cornered, you don't surrender, you build monsters. You build him, he pointed at Ash, and then you destroy everything around you. Jace didn't argue, he just looked him in the eye. You're not wrong, he said. But you're not right either. Talon raised his weapon. Zora stepped between them. Please, she said. Don't make this worse, but Talon's finger twitched. Ash reacted first, moving faster than light. In one blink, he was behind Talon, weapon gone, arm twisted, dropped to his knees. Enough. Jace said, no more death today. Ash held Talon, waiting. Jace looked at him. Do you follow me, or your programming? Ash paused. I follow you, he said, for now. They locked Talon away in a secure chamber, but the threat wasn't over. More ships were on the way, more enemies, more choices, more ghosts from the past. Jace sat in the main chamber and looked at the screen. Countdown. 3 hours, 6 minutes. Zora sat beside him. What happens next? She asked. Jace looked at Ash, and then at the ancient Titan suit still waiting in its glass tube. I think, he said, it's time to wake the real monsters. Asterisk, the Titan suit didn't wake up like a machine. It woke up like a beast, breathing, growling, pulsing with red light from inside the glass tube. Zora stepped back. It's alive? She whispered. Jace stood in front of it, silent. His hand hovered just inches from the surface. The glove on his wrist lit up, glowing symbols scrolling across it like ancient language. Ash watched from the corner, unmoving. The armor was made for war, he said, but it only responds to those who carry the human war code. Zora turned to Jace. What is the war code? Jace didn't look at her. It's not just DNA, he said. It's memory. It's pain. It's what humans became in their final hours. The suit's red lights turned blue. The glass tube hissed open, cold air filled the chamber. The armor stood tall, 7 feet of power and silence. A message played from somewhere deep inside it. A woman's voice, strong, familiar, fading like a ghost. If you're hearing this, you're the last. The world is gone. The sky is fire. The oceans are glass. But the code lives in you. Remember what we fought for? Jace took a step forward. The armor's chest opened slowly, like a mouth inviting him in. Zura grabbed his arm. Wait, she said. If you go in there, you may not come back out the same. He looked at her, calm but tired. I don't think I've ever been the same. Ash nodded once. The suit will give you everything. Strength, speed, battle instincts. But it also takes. What does it take? Zura asked. Ash looked at her. Years, he said. Maybe your soul. Jace smiled faintly. Sounds like a fair trade. He stepped into the armor. The chest closed with a loud clang. Lights flashed, codes downloaded, and the suit came too. Zura watched the transformation. She saw Jace's body lock into the system. His arms, legs, mind, all becoming something. More, the voice returned again from inside the armor. War code verified. Pilot, Jace Aaron. Accessing Project Titan memory stream, suddenly Jace cried out, not from pain, but from memory. His eyes filled with things he'd never seen, cities burning under alien skies, children hidden in bunkers, warriors in Titan suits fighting to the last breath. He felt it all, every death, every scream, every sacrifice. It wasn't just history, it was his. Zura stepped. Forward, Jace, she asked softly. The armor turned to her. The voice inside now layered, Jace's voice mixed with others, older, deeper. I remember everything, he said. I remember who we were. Ash bowed his head slightly. You carry the full code. Jace nodded slowly. But I also feel something else, he said. A signal. Zura looked confused. What kind of signal? Jace pointed up at the main screen. A new icon blinked on the map. It was far, but not unreachable. Another bunker, he said. Still active. Ash's eyes narrowed. Impossible. All human strongholds were destroyed, except this. One, Jace replied. And it's broadcasting something we haven't heard in over 100 years. Zura leaned in. What does it say? Jace looked at her and whispered just 2 words. Help me. Suddenly the whole bunker shook. Explosions rocked the walls. Dust and alarms followed. Sigma's voice returned. A final wave of hostiles approaching. Orbital strike in 1 hour. Zura's eyes went wide. They're coming again? Jace stepped forward in the Titan suit, now glowing with golden blue energy. I'll go to the other bunker, he said. Someone is still alive, or something is trying to trick us. I'm coming too, Zura said, grabbing her gear. Ash stepped forward. Then I will defend this base, he said. If Sigma falls into enemy hands, the galaxy ends. Jace placed a hand on Ash's shoulder. Protect the core. If we fail, blow it. Ash nodded. I was built to end wars, he said. And I will end this one, even if it means ending myself. Jace and Zura ran to the launch bay. The Titan suit connected to the old transport ship. Engines roared back. To life after 100 years of sleep, Zura buckled in beside Jace. You sure you're still you? She asked with a small smile. Jace didn't answer right away. But then he looked at her tired eyes behind glowing armor. I'm more me than I've ever been, he said, and I won't let our story end in ashes as the ship lifted. Off. Behind them, the old bunker dimmed, and Ash stood alone, watching, waiting, ready, and far ahead. That final signal kept calling. Soft, broken, human, help me. The stars were quiet, too quiet. Zura stared through the ship's front window as they approached the second bunker, the one broadcasting the message. Help me. It came every 11 seconds, broken, glitching, full of static. But now that they were close, Zura noticed something strange. Jace, she said softly, this signal. It's not just a distress call. He looked at the screen through his Titan helmet. What is it then? She leaned in, eyes wide. It's A voice overlay. She tapped on the controls, isolated the sound, and played it clearly. Zura. Her breath caught in her throat. That's my name. Jace turned toward her, surprised. But how? The ship descended slowly below them. The second bunker was barely visible under thick vines and broken mountains. But the moment they got close, it reacted. Giant doors opened by themselves. Lights spilled upward, like a signal torch in the void. Jace landed the ship carefully. Stay behind me, he said. Something's not right. They entered slowly. The halls were different here. Newer, cleaner, untouched by time. Zura's voice echoed in the silence. It's like this. Place was waiting inside the main chamber. They found it, not a weapon, not a trap, but a pod, a cryopod, with soft blue light. And inside it, a girl. Zura gasped. She stepped closer, hand shaking. No way, she whispered. The girl inside the pod looked exactly like her. Not similar, identical. Jace checked the readouts. This pod is over 140 years old, he said. This clone. She was made during the last war. Zura stared at her frozen reflection. Tears formed in her eyes. I'm not just an alien, she said. I'm part of something they made. Suddenly, the room lit up with red alarms. A hologram appeared beside the pod. Not Sigma this time. This one was older, broken, flickering. Cloning System Omega, active, subject ZR9. Final bridge between human and alien DNA. Jace stepped back. They tried to build peace. By making someone who could be both? Zura looked at him. That's me, she said. I'm not here by accident, the AI continued. When the Titans fell, we hid her. She would be the key if humanity ever needed a second chance. Then, another alarm began. Sigma's voice came through the communicator. Final enemy fleet inbound 30 minutes until impact. Ash's voice followed. I will hold them as long as I can, but they are many. Jace clenched his fists. We don't have time, Zura looked at the pod, then at herself. I know what I have to do, she said. She touched the glass. The pod lit up. Sensors matched her biometrics. A second voice echoed. Zura confirmed, initiating final protocol. Unity. Jace stepped forward. Zura, what are you doing? She turned to him. If I link with her memory, I might unlock the final override. Code that can stop Sigma's missiles and disable the enemy fleet. But it might kill you, Jace said. Zura smiled through tears. Fairy tales aren't safe, she said. But they give hope. She stepped into the second pod next to her clone. The chamber closed. Lights flashed to minds connecting. Two versions of the same soul meeting across time. Jace waited 1 second, 2-5, then. Override code accepted. Titan system. Full power online. Alien and human network synced. Jace's suit glowed gold, his mind filled with new battle maps. Ship locations, enemy data, and control. Full control. The final screen. Blinked once. Fire or 4G. He stood still and made his choice above the planet. Enemy ships powered up their weapons. Black hunters ready to erase the last human signature. But then, all their systems shut down at once. Engines offline, weapons locked, AI frozen. They floated helpless in the dark. Ash watched from the surface as their lights flickered and faded. Then he smiled for the first time, inside the bunker. Zura's pod opened slowly. She fell into Jace's arms, weak but alive. You did it, he whispered. She smiled faintly. We did it. Weeks later, the galaxy listened. A new message was broadcast on every frequency, a story. A truth, a warning. Humans are not extinct. We are the children of war, the guardians of peace. And we remember everything. Zura stood beside Jace as the stars turned above them. She once thought humans were just stories now. She was one of them, and together, they were writing the next chapter. Because sometimes fairy tales are real.